Hey fabulous people, it's Linny Wines again, here to talk to you about the movie I just saw, which was A Wrinkle in Time. And we have the wonderful cameo from Miss Pretty Kitty Princess also. Now, I did read the book A Wrinkle in Time, but it was in probably the 5th grade, so my memory on it, I remember some points, but I've not got a photographic, clear-cut, word-by-word description of the novel for you. That said, I did enjoy the novel when I was a child, and I enjoyed the movie. If nothing else, the best visuals I have seen yet this year. It's a close draw between A Wrinkle in Time and Annihilation, and these are two completely different visual styles. A Wrinkle in Time was going for a very strongly clear-cut fantasy vibe, whereas Annihilation was going for something more realistic fantasy. So I'm a little mixed in regards to which one I thought had the better visuals. But A Wrinkle in Time is a beautiful movie, and if you see it for no other reason, then I would suggest you go see it just for the amazing visual effects. Now, in regards to how I felt about the characters in the film versus the characters that I remember from the book, I felt like Calvin could have been very easily omitted from the movie, but had a stronger presence in the book. I'm not sure why he felt so dismissible in the movie, but that might have just been because it is a movie, it has a very limited time frame, and they were choosing to focus the majority of their attention on Meg. I appreciate that she is the main character, but Calvin and Charles Wallace both felt a little flat to me. Gonna give you some warning, there are some spoilers in this video. I know that's a late warning. I don't think I've said anything particularly spoilery thus far. From here on, it gets pretty spoilery. You warned? You gone? Okay. The biggest difference that I recalled from book to movie is that I remember the it being described as a brain. And they did refer to it as a brain in the movie, but it didn't feel like a brain or look like a brain the way I had imagined it. And it definitely left something to be desired for me, at least. And I'm sure that other people were perfectly fine with its depiction. It's probably just me being nitpicky, but I remember vividly imagining the it and its room and it as this huge pulsating gray brain. I guess similar to what you would have seen at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. But for whatever reason, they took a different route with A Wrinkle in Time, and they made it seem more like they were within the brain, which was definitely interesting visuals, but wasn't what I was expecting. I wasn't disappointed necessarily, I was just caught off guard. And in regards to, I've described the visuals long enough, let's talk about the characters themselves. I feel like every actor did a fantastic job. It was a very real, believable performance. Calvin felt a little bit flat sometimes, just a little bit. I don't know why I keep nitpicking Calvin. He just seemed meh. They could have done something to liven the character up, I guess. But the others, Meg was amazing. Their parents were great. Charles Wallace was a really good job for an actor of his age and for the character of that age. It started to feel a little stunted when we got Red Charles Wallace. Not bad, just like, I feel like the actor could have done more, and like he probably wanted to do more, but might not have gotten the best direction. Nothing against the director of the movie, it was a beautiful movie overall. Thank you, Princess. But I don't know, I just felt like Red Charles Wallace could have been a little stronger. Did get some good creep vibes from him, though. Think Pet Sematary in regards to Red Charles Wallace. I wanted it to be that level. I wanted Gage, but I didn't quite get Gage. Red Charles Wallace felt like a puppet, whereas from what I remember in the book, it was very much Charles Wallace's own doubts and fears and anger being twisted by the It to make him dark and use him in that way. Like, the It needs to work through someone in order to create its darkness. And in the movie, it felt more like it was using Charles Wallace as a puppet. They did a very clever visualization with Red before Red Charles Wallace was a thing, illustrating him as a puppet, which is nice, I guess, but Charles Wallace hadn't gone full puppet yet. I wanted to feel more Charles Wallace in Red Charles Wallace, and I just didn't. Not that it was bad, it just wasn't what I had expected it to be. Overall, the acting was great, the visuals were great, the casting was great. It was a very good movie, and as someone who has read the book, it did a good job. It was good. I wish that I could say more. Meg was fantastic. The actress who played Meg did a beautiful job. She was top-notch. I felt like the misses were pretty great, too. I don't know, I guess Calvin felt lackluster, and Red Charles Wallace could have been better. And that's my only real nitpicks about it, is the brain and the boys. Everyone else was great. The bouncing ball scene, which I remember being very creepy from the books and definitely hit a note of resonance within me in the books, was almost as good on screen. I say almost as good because it's really hard to get something to a level that it is in your mind. And it doesn't help that I am now an adult and I originally read these books when I was the same age range as Meg and Calvin, so I guess it didn't hit me quite as hard. It was beautiful, it was thoughtful, it was intelligent, and I would definitely highly recommend people going to see it. Even with its downsides and the lackluster acting from the boys and the questionable visuals with the It. I would still recommend that you go see this and support this because it's still a beautiful movie made by incredibly thoughtful people, and it seemed very respectful to the original work. Anyway, that's just my opinion, and I hope you guys enjoyed hearing from me. Peace out!